At some point in your life, you will realize a painful truth. The people who caused you the deepest damage were not the ones who openly opposed you. They were not loud enemies or declared rivals. They were close, familiar, sometimes friendly. Machiavelli understood something most people refuse to accept. Danger rarely announces itself. It blends in, smiles, adapts, and waits. This video is not about paranoia, and it is not about hating people. It is about survival. If you fail to recognize certain human patterns early, you will pay for it later with your peace, your reputation, and sometimes your future. The first dangerous type Machiavelli would warn you about is the excessively friendly opportunist. This person praises you loudly, supports you publicly, and aligns with you enthusiastically. At first, it feels good. It feels like loyalty. But Machiavelli saw excessive friendliness as a sign of dependence, not devotion. This person does not attach to who you are, but to what you provide. Influence, protection, access, validation. The moment your usefulness declines, the tone shifts. Support becomes distance. Distance becomes criticism. Criticism becomes betrayal. This is not personal. It is strategic, and that is why it is dangerous. Then there is the emotionally unstable individual, the one who reacts intensely, collapses under pressure, or swings between extremes. Machiavelli feared this type not because they are evil, but because they are unreliable. In moments of stress, they speak too much, act impulsively, and expose information that should remain hidden. They do not intend to harm you, but harm follows them. Aligning yourself with someone who cannot regulate their emotions is like building a house on unstable ground. It holds until pressure arrives. The third type is subtle and often underestimated, the silent resenter. They do not confront you. They do not argue. They rarely express dissatisfaction, but they remember everything. Machiavelli believed anger burns quickly, but resentment ages like poison. This person waits. They observe. They accumulate justifications. When the opportunity appears, they strike without warning, often at the moment you least expect it. Silence is not always peace. Sometimes it is preparation. Another dangerous figure is the moral grandstander. This person constantly speaks about values, virtue, honesty, and righteousness. On the surface, they appear admirable, but Machiavelli warned that morality, when used publicly, often masks private ambition. When someone positions themselves as morally superior, they gain the power to judge, condemn, and control narratives. Against this person, you are always on trial. They do not need evidence. They only need perception, and perception is enough to destroy reputations. Then comes the dependent, someone who relies on you emotionally, financially, or socially. At first, dependency feels like loyalty. You feel needed. You feel important. But Machiavelli understood a dark psychological truth. Dependence eventually turns into resentment. The dependent person becomes aware of your power over them, and that awareness breeds hatred. Gratitude fades. Entitlement grows. One day they will seek freedom, and if the only way to feel free is to harm you, they will justify it. Before we go further, if this analysis already feels uncomfortably accurate, if faces from your past are starting to surface in your mind, subscribe now. This channel is not about motivation or comfort. It is about clarity. And what comes next is even more unsettling. Now we reach the insecure authority figure, a boss, leader, or dominant personality who feels threatened easily. Machiavelli warned that insecure rulers do not eliminate enemies. They eliminate potential rivals. Your competence becomes a danger. Your independence becomes a risk. Your silence becomes suspicious. This person does not attack openly. They undermine, isolate, and quietly remove. Loyalty does not protect you here. Visibility does not protect you. Only distance does. And finally, the most dangerous type of all, the person with nothing to lose. Machiavelli was explicit about this. Desperation removes restraint. A person who feels cornered, humiliated, or hopeless no longer follows rules. They will burn bridges, betray alliances, and destroy structures if it gives them even a slight chance of survival. Reason does not reach them. Promises do not bind them. Standing close to such a person is not bravery. It is recklessness. What Machiavelli teaches is not distrust of everyone, but discernment. Not everyone is a threat, but certain patterns always are. People rarely hurt you because they are evil. They hurt you because circumstances change, incentives shift, and fear takes control. When you understand this, you stop personalizing betrayal and start anticipating behavior. The greatest mistake people make is judging others by words, intentions, or emotions. Machiavelli judged by position, pressure, and possibility. Ask yourself not who someone is today, but who they could become when power shifts. Resources disappear or fear takes over. That version is the one you must be prepared for. And now, as we reach the end, remember this single Machiavellian rule. Do not measure people by what they promise when life is stable. Measure them by what they are capable of when stability disappears. Crisis reveals character. Power reveals intention. Silence reveals strategy. If this way of seeing the world resonates with you, if you want to learn how to protect yourself without becoming cold, aggressive, or paranoid, subscribe now. The next video will break down how to defend yourself psychologically from these people without confrontation, without exposure, and without losing your calm. This is not content for everyone. It is for those who prefer clarity over comfort.